Penguin Audio presents Wicked Prey by John Sandford. Read by Richard Ferrone. Chapter 1. Randy Whitcomb was a human stinkpot, a red-haired cripple with a permanent cloud over his head, a gap-toothed, pock-faced paraplegic crank freak 6 weeks out of the Lino Lakes medium-security prison. He hurtled past the luggage carousels at Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport, pumping the wheels of his cheap non-motorized state-bought wheelchair, his coarse red hair a wild halo around his head. "Get out of the way, you little motherfucker!" he snarled at a blonde child of 3 or 4 years. He zipped past the gawking mother and tired travelers and nearly across the elegant Cordovan shoe tips of a tall bearded man. "Out of the way, fuckhead!" And he was through the door, the anger streaming behind him like coal smoke from a power plant. The bearded man with the elegant Cordovan shoes, which came from a shop in Jermyn Street in London, leaned close to his companion, a dark-haired woman who wore blue jeans and a black blouse, running shoes, and cheap oversized sunglasses with unfashionable plastic rims. He said quietly in a cool Alabama accent, "If we see yon booger again, remind me to crack his skinny handicapped neck." The woman smiled and said, "Yon booger? You were in England way too long." Brutus Cone, traveling under the passport name of John Lamb, tracked the wheelchair down the sidewalk. There was no humor in his cold blue eyes. I was at that," he said. "But now I'm back." Cone and the woman, who called herself Rosie Cruz, walked underground to the short-term parking structure, trailing Cone's single piece of wheeled luggage. As they went out the door, the heat hit them like a hand in the face. Not as bad as Alabama heat, but dense and sticky, smelling of burned transmission fluid, spoiled fruit, and bubble gum. Cruz pushed the trunk button on the remote key, and the taillights blinked on a beige Toyota Camry. "Ugly car," he said, as he lifted the suitcase into the trunk. Cone disliked ugly cars, ugly clothes, ugly houses. "The best-selling car in America in the least attention-getting color," Cruz said. She was a good-looking woman of no particularly identifiable age who'd taken care to make herself mousy. She wore no makeup, had done nothing with her hair. Cone had once seen her in Dallas, where women dressed up, and she'd astonished him with her authentic Texas vibe. Moderately big hair, modestly big lipstick, 2-inch heels, stockings with seams down the back. Her twice-great-granduncle might have died at the Alamo. Cruz, when working, dressed for invisibility. She fit in Dallas, she fit in Minnesota, she fit wherever they worked. She was wallpaper, she was background. She took the driver's side, and he sat on the passenger side, fiddling with the seat controls to push it all the way back. At 6'6", he needed the legroom. "Give me your passport and documents," Cruz said, when the air conditioning was going. He took a wallet out of his breast pocket and handed it over. Inside were £100, €50, $50, an American passport, a New York State driver's license, 2 credit cards, a building security card with a magnetic strip, and a variety of wallet detritus. The whole lot, except for the passport and currency, had been taken from the home of the real John Lamb by his building superintendent, who was a crook. Since the credit cards would never be used, no one would be the wiser. The passport had been more complicated, but not too. A stand-in had applied by mail, submitting a photograph of Cone, and when it came to Lamb's apartment, it had been stolen from the mailbox. As long as the real Lamb didn't apply for another one, they were good. Cruz took out the currency and handed it back to Cone, tucked the wallet under the...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?